Welcome to Z-Man, Zombies, Movies, and More, a show where we take an in-depth look at movies, video games, and everything zombie-related. Today we're going to be taking a look at the game Destiny 2 and the whole mess that the franchise is. Be looking out for future episodes where we're going to include tutorials from really cool stuff that we've learned on our show, Dead Nightmare, which is also on YouTube. So make sure to check that out after this. And for now, let's go to our panel where we discuss Destiny 2. So today we wanted to look at Destiny because it's something that's really been bothering us for a long time. We've all bought the game. I'm a PS4 user, so is Dustin. Dan is on Xbox. We wanted to get all perspectives here, even though it's the same one. I told him about that earlier too, and he so did it. So if you didn't see it, he definitely flipped us off. But you know what? Right back at you, Xbox. So again, we're here to talk about Destiny and this whole debacle. So I first wanted to talk about, Destiny 1. What led us here, okay, in this franchise? When it came out, it was an amazing game. I mean, we all played it. Even though the story, we heard all the stories about the writers leaving and they were forced to just go with this half-assed content, but we played it. It was literally the only thing out, and we played the heck out of it. So we were talking about the expansions.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was the big part. It was really the only thing out at the time, and sinking our time into a game that we could all play together that we enjoyed, and that was really the only thing that was there. And then the expansions came out, which again, I think the model followed, Destiny 2 kind of followed that with the time frame, but I think that's what's making me so upset about Destiny 2, and we'll get into that later. But the expansions came out pretty quickly after the game released, right? But they were at least different and unique. So you have Destiny 1, the first game, and then you had The Dark Below was the first expansion, right? And it was very different. The raid was very different. It offered different encounters, different mechanics. It was pretty intense when you went in. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it ended up being kind of wonky with some of the mechanics and glitches, but at least they tried to give us something different and creative and fresh. And I think I respect that more looking back now than what we're seeing possibly with the Destiny 2
and Dan, did you
DLC.
Also did you buy the expansions too?
I did. I bought same boat. I bought the first two, and then after the Dreadnought debacle, I was like, I'm not going to spend money on this third one. So I don't even know what the Rise of Iron entailed.
I'm right on with you.
I didn't get that one.
None of us did Rise of Iron. In fact, there's... Oh, wait.
Our fourth guy...
Oh, he's not here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a shout out to you. You know who you are. But he's going to join us back here because we're actually going to do a little follow-up once the content releases. And we're going to hit some first footage here. We'll have it in the background. And we're going to see what exactly this content looks like. But we're going to get to that. First, we want to talk about this franchise and Destiny 2 in general and what a cluster F this whole thing is. So, current game, story mode. They finally gave us a cohesive story. Something that actually has...
Kind of.
Well,
kind of.
I mean, a step up.
I feel like, The Taken King had its problems, but that was the first point where I think we were getting some sort of a cohesive story throughout the game. It wasn't super long, but it made sense, and it was enticing enough, I guess, to keep playing.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of introduced that extra villain at that point.
Yeah, right.
And class of villainy as well, which we didn't see any more of in Destiny 2.
Yeah. And I think that's what, with Destiny 2, and spoiler alert if you haven't finished the game.
So, a few spoilers in this. So if you haven't played the story yet, probably want to skip about 3 minutes into this so you don't get any of this.
What the hell have you been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing anyways? This game's been out for like 3 months.
Lucky you. Actually. But I think the first part, so Destiny 2, when we started playing, I had a lot of fun the first 2 weeks into the game. I was playing a lot. We were playing together. The story was pretty good, I felt. They did a good job of managing like the main bad guy. Gaul was kind of the antagonist, and he was in the story and those little cutscenes back to what he was doing, which they could have done that better and given him a little bit more character build up and some different things. He was just sitting on a ship like talking to his general, right? But it was still something that we hadn't seen before. And then you go through the story, and then there's Gaul at the end of the game, and you kill him in like a minute.
And that was it.
And that's it, and he's dead. And then the raid comes, and it's like you get no information about it at all, and it's just some...
Yeah. It just kind of happened. They showed some really cool things
on this ship, and it's like, what the hell is this?
One of the coolest cutscenes, spoiler alert, was when they were showing that star or whatever like that, and then that huge ship was moving in, and it just destroyed the hell out of it. And it was like, this thing's a world eater. Ha! A cool concept. All right. I mean, yeah, sure, it's been done, Independence Day and everything else, but let's not go there. Resurgence, awful movie. But it was cool. It had some cool cutscenes, whatever. But I don't know why, but with Gaul, it just felt like they were trying to sympathize with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like almost like this, they're just trying to stay alive and do what they do. I guess I don't know, but after a while, I kind of felt sorry for the old bastard. But then he's killing everybody.
And to me, it's like if you have this technology to destroy worlds, you're telling me you can't tow this orb off of the planet and then just destroy the planet? It doesn't seem that hard.
Okay.
Like, you got all these extra people in the way.
We got to back up just a second. The whole getting your light back. Okay. So again, if you haven't played this game, there's no reason you should be watching this yet. Getting your light back. Are you telling me that you are the only guardian asshole that found out about this special light in this valley, that literally miles away from this farm, which again was completely useless, but that's your new staging point, and you're the only guy, or girl for that matter, who decided to go and find your light?
And you don't want to tell anybody else about that?
Don't tell anybody.
No, wait, I got this, guys. I'm the only one.
Everybody's worried about dying. What's his face?
Cade.
Cade. All of them. All worried about it. Why are they worried? Literally 3 miles from where their asses are sitting, they can go get their light for free. I mean, well, you got to kill a few cabal on the way, but it's free.
Endless supers, too.
Endless supers.
You just step in this light puddle and you get supers for days.
I mean, how annoying was it to go back there every time as just another way to draw it out? Like, let's go get a portion of our light. Not all of it. You can only get a little at each time. Okay, mind you.
And your new subclass was a drop from a chest. Like, oh hey, I have this other subclass that I used to know how to do this, but I forgot until I opened this chest and I picked up this random thing, and I have to kill some enemies first, but then I can go back and remember how to do all that.
I mean, and I could see, like, to me, that was almost like the tutorial. If you didn't play Destiny 1, here's how this works. But at the same time, are you really buying Destiny 2 if you didn't play Destiny 1? I guess there's a small fraction of people that would be doing that.
We knew the game. Everybody knew the game. Everybody bought it. They made so much money off of it. We know people bought it. So they definitely bought number 2 to follow it up.
Right.
And we were all on the fence, too. We were all like, nah, I don't know, man. Probably shouldn't do it. And what do we all do? We all bought the game.
Yeah.
And we played the hell of it for, I think me and Appel were talking about it, 2 months.
Yeah.
About 2 months. We stopped playing about 3 weeks ago, and the content's coming out next week or whatever.
It really makes me want to just get GameFly, honestly.
But I think for me
Video spot, GameFly.
I think for me what it was the hope of a good game. I think Destiny 1, we spent a lot of hours in that game, but again we just talked about there wasn't really much else out at the time. But you saw glimpses of a great game. I mean, the polish, the gunplay, all of that's amazing. And I think that's what I saw in Destiny 2
was a fluid shooter.
They're redoing it all, right? There's hope there that maybe they've lesson learned from Bungie and they're just kind of start over again. From what they were saying the game was going to be, it sounded good. Yeah. And it was good for a couple of weeks.
They polished the hell out of it.
They did, but they polished a big turd.
And
you can only polish that turd so much.
Polish a turd.
Till it starts.
What drives me crazy about that too is that you guys as PlayStation folks didn't really get to do a whole lot of Halo.
Yeah.
And those to me were some of the most, and maybe they had like the lore and the backstory all more well thought out during those games, but those were some of the best.
Those are great.
Complete, well designed levels, enemies, all that.
We had Halo 2. I would get all the buddies over.
And then it went to shit. I mean, what happened to Bungie? I mean, did you literally just fire all your creative people and kept all your programmers?
They probably capped out on their interesting stuff.
Just wung it? Yeah. I mean,
we would get everybody over. 2 TVs, mind you. Now this is going to show our age. 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes.
2 TVs.
Two TVs, mind you. Forget that HD stuff. And 2 games, all the controllers. We would get 8 people going. We'd do these massive, just multiplayer.
Had to have a LAN party.
LAN party.
Oh, man. Yeah. Man, that just showed our age. All right.
All right, really.
Don't worry about that. But getting back to it. So, again, up this polished game, it really, and a lot of people have spoken to it, Angry Joe and some others that we watch, it is very much an expansion. It is an expansion, like, whatever, 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So you should have went with that.
Except you go backwards even more because you don't have as many places to go.
Yeah, you don't have many places to go. Oh, in fact, the moon. Did anybody see where the moon went? Or Venus? Did it just get destroyed?
Yeah,
or
I don't know.
Mars. That's right. We had Mars too.
Yeah.
Gone.
Don't forget the Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought. Oh, wait.
We saw it floating out there in Saturn.
Wait, the Dreadnought or the Leviathan? Because it's pretty much the same friggin' thing. Sorry, sarcasm.
And what happened to all the space people?
Oh, the Awoken.
They're gone.
The Awoken that was out there in the asteroid field? Okay.
They survived for millennia.
So you see the cynical stuff going on here, and we're laughing and we're joking on it, because this is how silly this game has been designed. These writers, I don't even get it. I don't understand it, but clearly this is where we are. So Again, enough kind of going off on the story and stuff. It was an interesting story. I will tell you that it was fun while playing a lot of the explosions and the color effects and everything, especially now with 4K and everything going on.
It looks fantastic.
It looked fantastic.
Because you just got your Pro. I was playing on Pro.
Yeah, you were playing on Pro.
When I got the game, and it was beautiful. It was probably the most polished game I've played to date before Battlefront 2 just came out, which I'd say that gave it a pretty good run for its money. But it was the most polished game I've played, and it felt like Destiny. It felt great. The gunplay, again, all that was really good. But I think we're moving kind of to the raid part now, and I think that was the first big letdown for me was the showdown with Gaul, the cheesy ass line that he had. What was it when he came down?
Oh God!
Now I've become legend is what he said to you, or something like that.
Something like that.
Cheesy as hell.
Not good.
And you blow the guy up in a minute, and then that's the culmination of this whole story. And this big bad dude who kicked you off the ship and beat your ass. Yeah. You kill him in a minute, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. And then the raid comes. And there's a little quest, I guess, that you do to get some information about this raid, but there's no story to that. There's no background to that at all, unless you want to dig through the internet again to read what people have theorized and put out on the web. But like, you go to the raid, and that didn't slow us down much. Like we did the raid, and it was fun.
It was fun.
It looked great.
It was challenging.
The ship was a cool idea to have a huge ship, but I mean,
it was massive.
We've seen a huge ship before in another expansion.
Yeah,
it just got shrunk.
Oh yeah,
it's all gold.
Just bigger. It's bigger and gold. But I mean,
and it eats planets, right? I mean, that's the whole point. It eats planets.
It eats planets. Yeah.
So it's got that going for it.
So it was still a cool experience, but like my playing up through that time was Gaul's the bad guy. We're going to have this showdown with him at the end of the story, and then we're not going to kill him. He's going to escape somehow and come back in the raid, and that's our raid boss. That's the whole culmination of this Destiny 2 game, and it was such a letdown to kill him that easily, and then just go off and face somebody we know nothing about. There's no story to that at all.
I was confused when I got in there.
It's like, what the hell's going on? Like, what is it?
And then to top it all off, because I never even did the damn raid. What was your reward for it? Nothing. Well, I got pretty much every exotic.
You know what I got?
I was given.
You ready?
A rocket launcher for I don't even know why.
Titan. Always a Titan. Titans, got love out there. 3 Titan marks in a row.
That's right.
3 Titan marks in a row.
For
there it is.
Hours
I'm sorry. A lot of hours. I mean, I can't even count. I told these guys, they were just laughing. And you know what? I was due. You know why? Because in Destiny 1, I got everything.
That's true.
2 mythic classes.
2 mythic class, like
Service
regimes.
That's
I never had a Gallahorn, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I think you make a good point, Dan. Like, the whole game itself, that's what it was. It was just handing out loot. Like, you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
If you were in a clan, you just got free loot every week just for logging in because your clanmates did stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go do some public events and you get exotic Ingrams out the ass that I think by the time I got to the raid, I had all the exotics already from a weapon standpoint.
But capped at that stupid power level that you can't break through. Like 178, well, I'm almost there. Yeah. And you got to find out some miracle way to kind of do some kind of side quest that gets you that one item that finally tips you over the scale, right?
And then it's like, the progression was kind of wonky here too, because you get to like that 280 mark, and it's tough to get from like that 260 to 280, right? That was that kind of zone where it was just like really hard to find gear that increases you. But once you get to 280 and you could buy those mods or those legendary mods, then it's just like you fly up to 305. And again, you don't have to do the raid to be max level.
Right.
And most of the people didn't. And I don't remember, I saw a stat somewhere, maybe in the trophies of the PlayStation trophies, like a month after the raid was released, only like 17% of players had completed it.
Oh man. Wow.
17%.
Well, our clan that we're in, which these guys are supposed to be big and bad. Hey,
if you're watching,
exiled. I got nothing but. I know I got exiled because some jackass on the group Canadian was talking bad on America. F you, TK Superman. F you. America's great. Suck it. All right. But no, you get mad at me, and like literally, I get a message from the guy saying, "Dude, I don't know why you got kicked out of the clan, but we're gonna invite you back." And I'm like, anyways. But our clan, literally, these are the guys. They're supposed to be the guys. They're trying to teach us everything. We were beating the raid every week for these guys, and it was just ridiculous. I mean, we had the crew. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry, I know you never made it, but you got to have the people.
I don't even feel bad.
But then it goes back to let's talk about this for a second. For these crews of 6 people, which. And they even put in that mode where you can supposedly find people. I tried a couple times, never found anybody.
I didn't even try that at all.
Just clocked. So that was worthless.
And just my experience with even our clan mates, like if you don't have 6 people that somewhat half-assed know what they're doing, like it's just going to be a frustrating mess. So the encounters in the raid.
But I will say that would be any raid.
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
good
Yeah.
because they program it for teamwork.
Agree.
But
it stops us from wanting to almost do it because you're having to really reteach. Which, by the way, is part of the kind of the fun. Like you got to get these. Like I'm going to get these guys through.
Yeah.
Except then you realize I can't get these guys through.
Yeah. We're going to get these guys through.
I can't help them not die.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think if you look at the mechanics of this raid on the Leviathan, it was a very puzzly, mechanic-heavy raid, which I didn't mind that.
They were. I mean,
it was still fun.
Cool.
It was hard. It was challenging. You had to.
They were.
You had to work together. If somebody messed up, you're pretty much screwed, and you're wiping, and you're starting over. Which I like. I like that. I think it should be that hard.
You got to stick together.
It would be nice to have a little more gunplay in there somewhere. Like I know Callus was some of that at the end, but most of the encounters were just don't get spotted by this, or make sure you're in your spot when you need to be, or get through the gauntlet through the rings and shoot the right triangle.
We had the dogs. It was kind of a stealth mission type thing, and a little gimmicky, but whatever. That was kind of cool.
So a recreation of the one-eyed guy,
the Gorgons.
guys. So not original.
Yeah.
But
they're dogs, Dan.
They're dogs because
but it's your
dog.
But it's your dog.
Yeah.
You like dogs?
And then you had the bathhouse, which I thought was kind of interesting.
The bathhouse was interesting. I'm trying to think.
There is something that's still like that.
There were some things like that, yes.
But it was cool, and it was cool. Achievable. Like you could work hard and still get out of it, and not feel like you just wasted a bunch of hours on nothing.
Yeah.
Now, what am I missing? We also had the
gauntlet.
The gauntlet. Oh.
The gauntlet was very unique.
So, we had a small technical difficulty. You may have saw the sign that just popped up a second ago, having technical problems. It's amateur hour, clearly. But what we want to get back onto here is talking about the raid.
Encounters, yeah.
The raid encounters. So we were talking about there's the bathhouse, the dogs, the gauntlet, and then obviously the Callus himself. So to get on this briefly, go ahead, Dustin. I know we were talking about this a little earlier.
Yeah, so I think the encounters were somewhat unique and fun initially, right?
Yes.
So the dogs was a little similar to what the Gorgon maze from the Vault of Glass, right? But it was a little unique in kind of the mechanics of it, and it was fun. It was challenging.
Yes.
The bathhouse again, kind of a cool
Cool,
experience.
challenging. You didn't have to spend a whole lot of time to do it, and you still felt that you could still get out of it and be rewarded.
Yeah, once you got the rotation down, you could blow through that one.
That was kind of
fast,
fun, kind of jumping around a little bit. It kept you on your toes.
Yeah. And more enemies in that one, I think, than most, right? You have quite a few enemies to deal with.
And the new enemy, the Cleaver guy.
The Cleaver guy, yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah. And then the Gauntlet, which that was, I think, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a enemy-heavy encounter, but
your runners had to be on point. They
runners
had to
had to be on
doing.
point. The guys outside had to be listening.
Had to be on point too.
Your communication had to be good. You couldn't be talking over each other. So, and then never fails at the end, that last part when everybody gets sucked in there. You got to have at least 3 people not die.
So you're running around this circle, whatever, and now the floors start coming out at certain points up, and basically, you have to a certain amount of people have to get through.
Yeah, so you need
but there's
you have 2 runners so 2 runners throughout the encounter for the most part, right? And these guys, they know all the holes, they know all the gaps, they know what they're doing. But at the end of the encounter, all 6 players get sucked into this maze on the outside or this running circle.
So now the 4 guys who pretty much have no clue inside what they're doing, you have to go around and hit these orbs and certain singles. Anyways, we're not going to get all into it. The point was, it was challenging, it was interesting, but goddamn, if anybody dropped the ball, you kiss your ass goodbye. And
never fails like we're running through and we're talking, we're doing great, guys.
We're good.
Just get through this next gate and we'll be good. And it's like, oh shit. Oh no, I'm dead. And like you see 3 guys drop off. You're like, oh, God.
Oh, you mean I'm supposed to call the orbs? Yes, the same thing we've been talking about literally the last hour.
But I think that was good. It was challenging. It wasn't a breeze to get through. You had to communicate. It took a few tries sometimes. Yeah. So pretty good experience. And then you moved into Callus, which I think a very unique encounter. I thought it was pretty fun until the glitches, which never fails in every raid. Somebody finds a damn glitch.
We've talked about this a little bit, and it could just be conspiracy theory, me just thinking whatever. I'm usually not a conspiracy guy, but I seriously think it's a gimmicky way of Destiny keeping the game relevant by creating some little random-ass way of trying to get around something, so when the game finally starts dying down in chatter, they say, oh, but did you see this way now you can cheat it? Now IGN's talking about it, and GamerNet, and all those guys. Everybody's talking about it again. It's almost like it's a brand new game. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's. I know it's you, Bungie. I know it's you.
So luckily we got through that encounter the right way.
We
Our
did.
group, our
We
core
did.
group,
several
right?
times, I think, or at least 3 or 4 times. I
Yeah.
think.
So and I know we talked about this too, but our clan and Destiny, right? Like we're not the
Go Canada.
we weren't the go-to guys in Destiny, right? Our clan was supposed to be like these guys that just knew what they were doing and they can get shit done. We were the only group in our clan getting through the raid every week. Nobody else could do it. So I think we had a good core group. We got through that Callous encounter.
I got love for you.
The right way.
Timeless Plague, all those guys. Hey, you're my boys.
Hey, we love you.
TK, go fuck yourself. I mean that with as much hate as possible.
We love you. Just don't raid with us.
Don't raid with us.
But we got through it the right way, and then as we started trying to get other people from the clan through, and we're struggling, then we're like, nah, fuck this. Let's just glitch it.
And we glitch it, and it would make me mad because I'm like, we're cheating, but then it's like, well, everybody else wants to cheat, so it's like, well, I guess I'm going to cheat, and then it's just like, well, and we have to cheat, and then even after we do cheat, we still can't get these guys through the raid.
But you know what? You're not cheating because they never would be like, hey, well, let me fix this glitch.
It never got fixed.
They never did they even fix them in the Destiny 1 games? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
Well, there was that one where I guess you could push that one dude. Remember you in the Vault of Glass, you could
you push
do
them
the thing,
off.
push
Yeah,
them off.
they fixed that, I think, eventually.
The one thing they probably
But
fixed.
so the first raid. It took them the entire time.
I can already see some hater person commenting. It's like, yeah, they did fix it. They probably did. The point is how long it took them to fix it.
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, and who gives a care? This is my channel. No, I'm just kidding.
But even if you did get through it, what's the point?
What's the point?
You don't get anything meaningful.
My 3 tide marks I got in a row. Some of you guys got some cool stuff, which I think we talked about before. Is I got all the cool stuff in Destiny 1.
You did.
And these guys were pissed, and I'd be laughing like, oh, look at all this stuff I got. And boy, wasn't it the laugh on me when I start getting the same things every time.
But even the cooler stuff, I would say, like the weapons, there was nothing unique about the weapons, really.
The power.
The way they looked, the power of them,
That's
which
it.
you could infuse it into a different gun if you wanted to.
Make some else
but it
stronger.
wasn't like Vision of Confluence from Vault of Glass that had
really cool, unique either
extra
zoom in,
damage to what do you call those little circle things that we had to shoot? I don't remember what the hell they're Templars or something. I don't know what it was called. But it did extra damage to those things, or it had some sort of element for the raid to make you say like, oh, I'm going to use that in the raid next time because it's going to make it easier.
Right.
There's nothing like that in the Leviathan.
No.
All the armor is just aesthetic stuff that looked cool, but you could get a shader to do the same thing to your other gear. So there was no point. And by the time that we had gotten through the raid a couple times, we were already 305 anyway because you get stuff every week from doing everything else because they were just handing out shit left and right.
So the one guy in our crew, one of our buddy's cousins, he had played it so much that literally we were the only reason he was even playing the game. He is already 305 for like a week or even longer. So finally he dropped off once we had other people to play the raids with. And then Dustin and I, and pretty much like clockwork, we all started falling out. Poor Franz, we told you to get the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you tried the raid once, you know.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice. Yeah. I got nothing but love for you, Franz. But, boy, you got to get the game when it comes out. Not...
Because there's not enough content.
You wait 2 weeks, man.
I told
you. The
you.
game only lasts a month, so you wait 2 weeks, you're halfway through. So next time, he got Battlefront.
Well, he knows his Star Wars.
He knows Star Wars. He'll jump in.
But this is the problem with this game is the gimmicky, the content. They're trying to charge you $35 for these 2 pieces, which again, $35 is not astronomical. It's nothing really in the scheme of things. But it's the point of it. You guys aren't releasing good, solid, even a base game. You're just kind of polishing. Like the turret we were talking about before, that it's just like you polished it, and you finally made it really viable and awesome. That's cool. But now you ran out of content after 2 months. We haven't touched it in almost 3 weeks, if not longer. Yeah. Your new content comes out next Tuesday.
Did you trade it in? It's gone.
It's gone.
I thought about it.
I know.
I still want to, but now it's probably too late.
I told Appel today. He was disappointed. He thought I'd at least give it a shot, but I couldn't. And I explained to him, it's like, what they've done, I will not pay into this system. Just like with the loot boxes when it came to EA and stuff, which we're not going to get a huge tangent on it. But EA, they tried to screw us. They tried to do this loot box progression system or like that, and it caught them in the butt.
Yep.
And they paid for it dearly through their share prices and everything else. And I'm telling you, I'm warning you, Bungie, same thing's going to happen to you. People are going to finally start to realize they're speaking up. They're saying, like, we're not just going to pay for this stuff just because you're saying we should.
Yep.
I mean, they're just not going to do it.
So let's talk the DLC. So you just said $35 for 2 expansions. So we know the Curse of Osiris coming out
and the
in
unnamed
early
piece
December.
of shit that come in spring.
And then, other piece of shit in the spring sometime.
Like
but, so what have we learned from reading up and all the live streams that Bungie's done?
Our learnings.
Learning! We're about to learn something. Ready, set, go.
Our learnings so far.
Learning 101.
8 story missions. that lasts roughly 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4. I heard 4
So
to 5,
4 to
but hey,
5.
I don't want to.
4 to 5 is generous, I would say.
Very generous.
So one Saturday's worth of content.
One Saturday.
On Saturday.
And 2 of those are strikes. So 2 of the stories are strikes, which I like. I like that strike play interweaving into the story.
That is nice.
But they did that in Destiny 1, and then it was gone in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So why wasn't it there in the first place?
And the whole point of the strikes, even if they are awesome, and it's like, man, I just want to play these over and over. You can't even pick your strikes in multiplayer. You have to play through a set playlist. Lord knows what you're going to get. They do the same thing in Star Wars, too. It is so annoying. I mean, we played nothing but Tatooine, and, we hadn't even played Hoth, which, by the way, we played so much Hoth in the previous one, but that's the point, right?
Yeah.
I can't even pick what I want to play.
Yeah.
What else we got on this thing?
The raid content.
The raid.
So you have the Leviathan again, a smaller segment of the raid. So it's called a raid layer this time, which I don't know what the hell that means.
That's kind of a cool name, Lair. It's a selling point. I like that.
Yeah, it's all marketing, man. So the raid layer, which is a shorter experience than the Leviathan raid in the first place.
Yeah.
And again, I think we talked about this was what on the trophies on the PlayStation Network.
Yes.
When we were playing the raid after the Leviathan for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I looked on my trophy list, and there was a trophy for completing the raid. 17% of the players on PlayStation have done it. Only 17%, which I thought was crazy because we're never really like the first group through stuff, right? We usually struggle and get through it eventually.
We watch everybody else do it. Then we watch just a quick little, look out for these things, and then we go and do it. Because who's going to spend 20 hours trying to figure out a raid? I'm sorry, I got better things to do.
But we were in the top 15% of players on PlayStation actually completing the raid, which I think is just crazy.
That's crazy.
So I'm just wondering how much of this is pandering to people who don't have 6 or 5 other friends to play with.
Well,
or
that's what you ran into, right?
Yeah,
right? On Xbox.
Like we said, it's like herding cats trying to get 6 people.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in different time zones or different continents for that matter.
And get people to actually commit to it, too.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Because what do you need? 3 to 4 hours to complete the raid without cheating it?
Yeah, 3 to 4 hours.
You have to figure you're going to wipe 2 to 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, that's a nice case scenario.
And if you got guys like us, like Bomb and the East Coast on a different time zone, we're starting at 10 and
Ohio, Matt.
And Matt's staying up, starting at 11 and going late into the night. That was really tough for us too.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's the right way to do it. You don't make the content shorter or easier so that everybody can get through it. Right. You make it easier to get into the content. Like Dan was saying, I think why not make it 4 people instead of 6 to do a raid, or give options then to where maybe you could do it with 6 people, or maybe you could do it with 4, and they change the mechanics of the raid a little bit to.
It's a BS way we talked about of Bungie shortening what their commitment is to the people. So now they don't even have to create a full raid because probably they're running out of ideas, and I don't blame them. They've had a lot of cool ideas, but now you're just repeating yourself. So I'm like, man, we got to shorten these things down. So now you're shortening the content down, still charging the same price, but now you're throwing in all these other little gimmicks like a new patrol space, a new social space. Your social space, you cannot even use your multiplayer find system for the raid. It doesn't even work. At least it didn't for the longest time. It may now, but it didn't for a good month and a half.
And let's not forget, this isn't a new social space. This was in the first game, but they made it so hard to get into this
Nobody ever
social
saw
space. Maybe 500 people on the original game saw it.
Yeah.
Because what you had to do was, spoiler, if you haven't played through Destiny 1, was you had to go flawless through the Trials of Osiris. And as we talked, I was tearing it up in multiplayer. I don't think I maybe won one game of the Trials of Osiris.
We won a match.
We won a round.
Well, maybe 2 different instances. We might have won 2 rounds, but not consecutive.
We're not slouches in competitive
multiplayer. No, we can play.
We can play. We'll get on Battlefield, and especially if Franz is in our crew, like we're top 3, top 4 mowing through people
down.
And we just, I don't know what it was with
it was the team or something like that, and then not to get off to too much tangent on the multiplayer, but you got this 4-player multiplayer, right? Yeah. So now you've taken away our ability. Only 4 player. There's no other option. You didn't even leave us an option just to, hey, in case you do want to play 6. How hard would that have been? Yeah. Just leave a 6-player mode.
Or do you want to just play by yourself and do a rumble?
That's true too.
People bitched about it, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah. All these different modes are fun. People want options, and whoever your constituents are that said we didn't want it, they lied to you. Yeah. I'm sorry. And you made us grab all these friends now because we're supposed to play these 6-person raids. That's where all the bonding comes, and now we can't even bring all of them into a friggin' multiplayer match.
Yeah. Then so you do the raid and you get that done. You're like, hey, let's do PvP. We can't do that because
sorry, you 2 guys, and then they get mad at you because and they're rightfully so, because it's like now you got to choose your friends. You guys did everything ass backwards, Bungie. I'm sorry. You deserve the finger. here's another one, and I'm going
Take
for that one too. That's ridiculous and unacceptable. I'm sorry. And as I look through this list, and we're going to kind of cap this up, but your increased level cap to 335, I think it was we talked
335 from 300. The other leveling system that's in the game for some reason, I don't know why, your level 20 to 25 is the reason that level cap too, but it doesn't even, I mean, that level doesn't even mean anything. I don't understand why it's there.
What did you say last time about the, what are the little hidden places?
The lost
the lost sectors.
Because we went in
are we adding some new lost sectors too?
Yeah.
Because, every time we ran across those lost sectors, we just wanted to run in there and check it out, right?
If you haven't caught that sarcasm there, nobody gives a shit about your lost sector, okay?
And that's in a new patrol space on Mercury called the Infinite Forest, which to me is just the bastard brother of the Black Garden. The Vex aren't very original.
It's the Jon Snow of the Black Garden.
It is. It's so ridiculous. I mean, you give us Mercury, this new planet, and your raid isn't even even the raid lair isn't even on Mercury. It's still on the Leviathan. I mean,
and what's the Leviathan doing just sitting there in space? What the hell's going on?
Well, I guess we killed Callus, so no one's driving.
But spoiler, Callus was a damn robot anyway. So
yeah, he's not even the real Callus, so...
So this ship is just hanging out above Nessus, like trying to eat the planet for months, and we just keep going back to it and
just re-killing a robot,
re-killing stuff. I don't know.
And we never understood why we were there.
Yeah,
I don't know if we got caught off before our little technical error, but we never even find out why we're there to kill him. Other than he's another one of the Cabal higher ups. I mean, Jesus, he could just be like one of Hitler's lieutenants or something like that, or he is Hitler himself. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, you lost the game.
The game takes you through this story with Gaul, which was motivating, and you get to a point to where he dies so fast, and then it just goes into this raid, and they don't give you any knowledge or backstory or transition into that at all. It's just like, oh, hey, there's a big ship above
and there it is.
Nessus, and we need you to go there with 6 people and try to
Oh,
kill us.
Even to preface that, the storyline for this game was a little better, but did they even set it up or make any sort of transition between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2? It was just like all of a sudden, no the tower has been ransacked, you're in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I guess it was just kind of like everything, all was
Eastern
well.
Europe.
Yeah.
Eastern, oh, Jesus.
If you've ever seen Euro Trip, you know how bad Eastern Europe is.
I once killed a man in Berlin.
Bungie must have outsourced their shit to East Berlin.
Jeez, apparently. And by the way, hats off for getting some new areas and stuff, guys. But again, you dropped the ball. Half-ass polished game, but you polished it, so at least you did that.
Yeah.
It's a fluid shooter as always. If you love it, just a good, nice, it just feels good to play it. Destiny's probably for you. But this content stuff and paying into the system, for those who are just getting excited just because, hey, look at the content, you're stuck in the hype. You're stuck in that corporate, I don't know, pain game. Just like EA was trying to do. Stop. Talk back. I mean, you really we have to. And then, by the way, we're not really good advocates for this because we bought Star Wars. I mean, we didn't even say, hey, we'll just cut off, which, by the way, I think we found out about all the real big changes the day of.
Right.
And I don't think you can cancel PSN pre-orders. And I was just talking to Pell about this today. I don't think I'm going to pre-order anymore on PSN. Why? Because now
like they sell out anymore.
No, you're locked in, and there's no way to get around it. I'll pre-order at Amazon, Best Buy, play the beta. Which, by the way, for all of you who haven't figured this out, anybody that gives you a free beta to play, hint, hint, they got their shit together. Their game is legit, and they know what they're doing. If you have to pre-order the game just to have access to the beta, watch out. Something is wrong.
We need your money up front.
We're just not sure about this. We don't know if we polished this turd enough, so
Which
we're going to
makes
need
no
your money first.
sense, because then you can go and cancel your pre-order, unless they're hoping
Yeah.
that most of the jackasses are going to buy them on the PSN network. I'm pointing that way because my TV's over there.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous, guys.
Yeah.
So really think about it before you just pay into the system. We are not haters. We love Destiny. Well, we loved Destiny.
I love what Destiny could be.
What it could be.
But you know what? Can I say this?
Absolutely.
The single best thing that Destiny 2 did was you didn't have to go to orbit to go to Callisto.
That's true.
True
The
that.
single,
That's true.
probably only saving grace for this.
Should we give a Bungie salute? Bungie, we salute you.
Golf clap.
You're saving us gas money. Thank you.
I mean,
So-
it was a nice
What?
addition. It was
Final.
nice.
Let's go. Final thoughts.
Final
really
thoughts.
quickly. I would say
What would you give Destiny 2 if you had to rate it out of numbers? I know we've been talking about it. We've all been thinking about it. Let's just give it a little solid number, and if you don't have it yet, think about it for a second. But
What's our scale?
out of 10.
Okay.
so. First 2 weeks playing the game,
Yeah, and you can do a point scale too.
8 out of 10 for me.
Eight.
After you get through the content and you start getting into the end game, 5 out of 10 maybe. And that's
Yeah.
the 5 is just polish and the landscapes. I was playing on Pro. I know you just got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I should.
Dude,
I'll never know what it looked like.
It's beautiful, the gunplay's great. I think it was really slick, and up front it was fun, but it just all these other issues that we ran into.
Because it just
was the
repeated
only reason
Destiny
I
1,
gave it
right?
5. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing we were unhappy with Destiny 1. Dan, what are you going to give it to? I'm going to give it last one.
As what it should have been, an expansion to Destiny 1,
Well,
I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but as a
The launch.
$60
Since he gave it the launch,
launch,
what would you give the launch? How did you feel at the beginning?
6 out of 10. Because
Okay.
in this day and age, graphics shouldn't be the reason you're... It's not like we're going from Xbox 360, the Xbox guy, to the Xbox One graphics. I mean, or the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3 to the PS... Whatever the fuck version it is. I don't even know.
PS Awesome version? I mean, that's what I got. What did you get?
Yeah.
Okay.
The PS
Anyway,
Awesome.
but to me, it's all gimmick and polish. I mean, like Dustin was saying, you can polish a turd as much as you want, but in
It's
the
going to be
end,
the same for this match. Yeah.
like I said, if the single best thing you did to this game was not having to go to orbit, fuck
That's
that piece
telling,
of shit. I mean, overall,
So we're going to give it 6?
overall, I'll give it a 6, and I still
6.
feel that's generous.
Okay. I am going to give it a 7. I thought the story was kind of cool. You had a lot of cool moments you could have had, but again, you kind of went the soft route. You could have gone a little bit darker and really made this a cool thing. We talked about so many things you could have done with the story.
Oh, yeah.
With just making it really hit home. You know, give a care about anybody else except for yourself, which you never even hear yourself talk. You're just
Yeah.
kind of always just stand there. Oh yeah, well we're gonna keep going, but you don't even hear your character talk. So you're listening to everybody else talk to you. That's cool. The voice acting was good, but the story could have still had an edgier piece to it, even for kids. I think it's still doable.
Yeah.
Which kids. I talk about teenagers. The multiplayer, fun. The raid, fun. Again, missing certain concepts. Can't even choose what kind of multiplayer maps I want to play. Yeah, the explosions look great and the colors and everything else. But again, as Dan was talking about the graphics, we're at a day and age. Battlefield 1 is kicking your ass left and right all over. In fact, just the Battlefield franchise. If you cannot put simple just destruction elements, and I'm not talking about little papers flying off a desk or a little bullet hole in the wall, guys, that's like 1998, 2000 graphics, and probably even before that, right? You agree?
Yeah.
So you get minus a full point just for not being able to keep up with that. And you basically use the same engine system. You're turned into what Call of Duty is now, which is that yearly franchise system, which by the way, I cannot believe people still pay into that. It is the same game. World War II, it's the same game. Go watch Angry Joe. Angry Joe, I'm going to give you a call out. Go see his watch out. Is hilarious.
Yeah.
His Battlefront 2 one, hilarious. And we're still going to review some of these games because we have our own takes on it too. But still, check it out. I give it 7 out of 10. But that was the launch. And like Dustin said, by now, I traded it in. I didn't even want anything. I have never traded in a game.
Yeah.
I swear to God, have never traded in a game. I'm always like, I'll hold on to it. Maybe I'll play it later.
Yeah.
But now with the content, what's the point?
Yeah.
I will never catch up unless I pay into the system. So goodbye. And I will not, just like Call of Duty, I will not buy another Destiny game until you produce an innovative, true game with graphics and everything else and destruction systems and everything, the whole with the boot. So, I know this sounds like a really critical hater session, but it's for good reason, guys.
Deserved.
It's deserved.
And I would say if you haven't purchased the DLC content or you're on the fence about it, just wait. Wait until it comes out and people play it and you get good reviews. Wait for Angry Joe to come out. I know we're gonna do a follow up on it. For the one person of our friends that's actually buying it.
For the bra who didn't show, we are actually going to have a follow up to this, and it's going to show. We'll show some content up on the board, and I believe you may have seen some content in the background here that I had playing kind of like when we were talking. But again, a very polished game, but it's just an expansion. That's all it really was. It was just a really big game expansion, and this other little thing is just a mini, tiny, minute expansion to the whole pie. So we're going to get some gameplay. We'll see what it's like. And we'll talk about it with Mike and see what his impressions are. I can tell you right now, he said, even though he bought content day one, and he said, I wish I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I mean, just what he's
and that's
seen
a
and
lot,
what he's heard.
And Mike can tell it when he's here next time, but coming from Mike, that's a big statement because he loves Destiny. He played all of the first expansions through Rise of Iron. Everything. He loved the game, and to hear him say he wished he wouldn't have bought that content up front, that's pretty telling to me. But just wait. If you haven't bought it, wait. Check out some reviews. Make sure that it's worth it before you pay for it, because that's the only way that we're going to get our message across to these publishers like Bungie, like we did with EA and Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. People actually spoke up and spoke with their wallets. Don't buy it. Don't buy it before you know what's there, because you're just paying for a polished turd.
Polished turd. Any last thoughts or anything else?
I'm done. I can't
We're
think
done.
anymore.
I know. I mean, we've hurt this game so bad. Bungie, we want to love you. Hopefully you come back with something better in the next year or two. I want to thank you for joining us on our very first episode of Z-Man, Zombies, Movies, and More. Be sure to check us out next time where we finish the debate on Destiny 2 with its most recent release of its DLC, The Curse of Osiris. And also in the future we'll have more tutorials from After Effects and Adobe Premiere, as well as everything zombie related from our show, Dead Nightmare. So be sure to check us out, subscribe in the bottom corner, and we hope to see you next time. Peace!